Hey everyone, I'm David. I am the developer behind War of the Old Ones, and I am going to take you through the game, or at least part of it, to show you some of the functionality and features. So let's get started. There are two types of login. You can either create one with a password, or you can use an email with a link. Obviously, with the link, you don't have to remember a password, but with a password, you don't have to go to your email every time. So, first thing you're going to do is create your lead investigator. This is your main character. So you can give him a first name, or you have to give him a first name, or her. Last name is optional. You pick a gender. Right now it doesn't mean anything, but in the future it may at least change the look of your character and maybe do other things too. Then you're going to roll 3 times and pick the best one. Then you're going to choose one of 8 professions. Each profession has their own starting equipment and skills. You can also change your role so you can see how it affects the attributes. You can click on the objects or the equipment and the skills to read a bit about them. They're all pretty different. But you just pick one and then go start the game. And the first thing you're going to be doing is talking to this professor who has welcomed you to the university. You're going to have a dialogue with him to find out the backstory and what you need to be doing. I won't take you through all this reading. You can do that on your own. Once you've finished that, you'll go through. This is the lobby of the Miskatonic University Museum, and these are all the different companions. You can have up to 2 companions in your party. They use the same professions that you choose from at the beginning. You just click on one of them to get a context menu, and then you can choose to have a dialogue with them. And this is how you can bring them into your party. You can also then talk to them again in case you don't want to use them anymore. You can go and choose someone else. You can also view their character sheet to see all their equipment and attributes and skills. So you'll want to have at least probably one companion go with you into the dungeon. I recommend 2, the more the merrier. And a well-balanced party is always going to be more successful. So then, once you have your party formed, you can go ahead and go into the dungeon. Before you do that, you'll want to equip a light. So you click on your character. You can either click on your character or you can click on your name in the control bars below. And then you simply drag and drop. So you can drag the lantern into the guy's hand, and that'll equip the light. There's also this equipment swapping feature. So if you click that, you can assign a separate 2 different sets of equipment and just swap between them very quickly. If you don't want a piece of equipment or you've got a full inventory, you can also drag and drop to drop items to the map. You can always pick them up again later. Everything is saved. The dungeons are generated randomly before you go in, but once they're generated, they're saved. Once you finish this initial mission, it isn't there yet, but there will be a feature to be able to reset the dungeon to do it again to your heart's content. But of course, without the mission, you'll just be going in and hacking up monsters. Once you have a light equipped, Ready to go in. Just a couple other things. There's this button here. This controls whether you're in follow mode or turn-based mode. Currently you're in follow mode. As you can see, there are 3 characters following each other. If you switch to turn-based mode, then you're going to control each character separately. And they take turns based on their initiative, and each character gets 3 moves and 2 actions for their turn. Then you simply end the turn and it'll go to the next character. If you're not in combat, you can always switch back to follow mode. And while you're in follow mode, you can also change the follow order. So if I want my war veteran to come first to be point in marching order, I can just drag and drop like that, and now he's the lead. So let's go into the dungeon. So here we are. You'll notice that the lighting, of course, is very different. In the museum, it's all well lit. Down in the dungeon, there is no lighting except for a few random torches and whatever lighting you're holding. And you will want to have lights equipped, because if you don't, then you won't be able to see anything. Plus, if you move around in total darkness, or any character that moves around in total darkness is going to slowly lose sanity, which of course is bad. Speaking of which, you'll see in the control bar there are 3 bars. The red one is for health, blue is for sanity, and pink is for spirit, which is basically like mana. It's the energy that you use to conduct your skills. So speaking of which, here are the skill buttons below, as well as buttons for attacking and doing other things like refilling your lantern. If a button is green, then it can be used. If it's grayed out, dark green like this, then of course it's not usable. So you can move around. If you click on objects, you can either walk toward them or get information about them and pick them up. So whoever is the current lead when in follow mode, or whoever's the current active character in turn-based mode, when you click on an object and pick it up, it's going to go into that character's inventory. So here's the first aid kit. You don't need to equip them to use them. The button will automatically appear. You can use first aid on both your own character and other characters as long as they're adjacent. You can also pick up the torches off the walls, which of course will remove the light from the room, but that allows you then to equip the light. So while we're in the character's information page, we'll go over a couple of things. One, each character has a slot for armor and for 2 items. In this case, Frank is holding a rifle, which is a 2-handed weapon. But if I use this button to swap, I can give him a knife and a torch. So now he can have extra light added to the room. So now we have 2 guys who have light, and as you might have seen, it increased the amount of light shown on the map. So the more light there is, the farther you can see, and the easier it will be to see things, creatures and items and such. So then we can switch back, give him the rifle because that's a more powerful weapon. And these are the stairs. You can always go back up, but we'll stay here for now. And then as you move around you'll be exploring. You can see here there's a door. Oh, and we just encountered our first creature. So you'll see here in the game log, it'll tell you what's going on. And you can click on the creature to try to get information. At the beginning, there won't be any information because you don't know what you're encountering. But over time, or as you encounter more of that particular species, you'll get more and more information. You can also go back up and talk to the professor, and he'll be able to give you some information as well. So we are now in turn-based mode since we've entered combat. So first, it is my main character's turn, and in order to attack, I simply click on the weapon button and then click on the monster, and it'll show you the results of that attack. So he did some damage, and I get one more action, so I can attack again, and this time he missed. So that's pretty much the end of his turn. He does have this one action skill that he can use that actually doesn't take any actions. It's a quick reload, but I'll show that to you right now to see what happens. So you'll see that the skill bar goes down, and now he's reloaded his gun, so he has back up to 6 ammo. So then I'll end his turn. Now it's Philip's turn. He only has a melee weapon, so he can't reach the creature. So I'm just going to skip his turn for now. And now Frank's turn, and he's going to take a shot at the creature. And he missed. Alright, so he killed it. So now I'm going to want to reload my weapon. He's run out of actions, but since we're no longer in combat, we can go back to follow mode, and now he can freely reload. Because in follow mode, you have an unlimited number of actions and moves, of course. So now we can continue moving along, and there's another door. So something appeared, and then it vanished, which, because it appeared, it switched us to combat mode. No, still have it. So the creature's still out there somewhere. And if we move my guy in, so you can see this shimmering here. So there's a creature here that's, invisible. Unfortunately, when they're invisible, you can't attack them. But there is another creature there, I just noticed. So we can attack that one. And he has no more moves. Alright, so then Philip is still back here. And let's see. Give him his light so we can see better. But he still can't move because Philip's in the way, or Frank's in the way. So I'm going to end his turn. Frank's going to move into the room, and he actually gets 4 moves. And that's one of his special skills, is he gets an extra move. So he can move further, which will let Philip eventually get in the room as well. So he missed first. He killed the creature that time. So now that's... Oh yeah, and he can actually pick up the first aid kit too. Picking things up and dropping things don't take any actions. So this thing is still here, and it's able to attack. Unfortunately, we can't attack it until it becomes visible again. But for now, you can do other things. So there's a sarcophagus here. We can open that up and loot it. We can also try to leave the room, although we don't have enough movement to do that. But if you can get away, far enough away from the creature so that they're no longer in view, then you can actually leave combat and go back to follow mode. But I don't think we're going to be able to manage that this turn. So another thing is that the creatures that are around will also cause your sanity to drop. And eventually, as you lose sanity, bad things will start happening. You'll see that sometimes certain statuses will come up, and you'll see icons here that will tell you what those statuses are. So for now, there's not really much we can do until I can get... Oh, it reappeared. So now we can finally attack it. Alright. And hopefully it doesn't disappear again. I'll just move him in toward the rim. And Frank will attack it now. There we go, killed it. Good. So now we can go back to follow mode. And there was one other thing I wanted to show you. One thing you'll notice is that you don't have to worry about people getting in the way when you're in follow mode. They'll move past each other. It's only in combat mode that's an issue. In turn-based mode. So there's this search feature. When you enable this, every investigator will search each time you move. And you can find secrets that way. So we just found a secret door. And there's another secret door. So there's a chest in here, or a trunk. We found a knife. Now, here's another feature. So since he has 2 knives, he doesn't need both of them. We can trade items as long as you're adjacent. So we can just drag and drop down to the control panel for another character. And so now he has a knife. So if he runs out of ammo, actually we can do this now. We can swap out and assign his alternate equipment. So now we can easily go and switch back and forth if he runs out of ammo. Fortunately for now, he still has some rounds left. And in fact, I'm going to have him reload for free. And then I'll put Frank back. So now there are these mounds of rocks. And currently we can't do anything with them, but there's a character, an archaeologist, a profession rather, and that character comes with a pickaxe, and you can mine these mounds for gems and other stuff. That'll become an available action when you're next to a mound. So for now, we'll leave here and check out this other secret room. So here's some other items. So this is some cloth. The game has a crafting system in it, and I think that's some ammo, so that's good for him, although, well, not for him. Let's give the ammo to Tom. So you can trade, if it's a stack, you can trade any number of that stack, so I'll just trade them all. So certain people can craft certain things. So you'll see here Frank has the mine skill, but you need a pickaxe in order to mine. Everyone has the mine skill. The archaeologist can actually mine better. So let's see. None of these guys actually have any crafting skills, but there are ways to craft stuff. Like you can craft torches, you can craft holy water, you can craft the bottles of flame throw. I'm blanking on what it's called. There's a lot of things you can craft in the game, as long as you have the appropriate skill. You can even craft first aid kits and pharmaceuticals. So let's see, let's continue. Oh yeah, and they're currently searching to find other secrets. And while you're searching, the caveat is that it will use up your light faster. So currently, you can see how much time you have left. That number is the number of movements or tiles that you move. But when you're searching, instead of 1 point per movement, it'll be 2 points per movement. So you may not always want the search skill active. It will eat up your light more quickly, and if you run out of light, you are going to be in trouble. So I'm going to disable that for now. Oh, got another knife. I'll probably just leave that there because we don't need another one. Oh, hit a dead end. Oh, so just hit a trap, which caused some damage. That's another secret. So if I had been searching, I might have found that trap. But unfortunately, I turned it off. Oh, there's another creature. So now I can actually attack with Philip. He can go up closer. And so he has this skill called Sacrificial Strike, which it's a guaranteed hit and extra damage with the Chris knife, which is what he comes with, in exchange for health and sanity loss. So he does 50% extra damage at a cost of 3 health and 3 sanity, and it requires spirit as well. So we'll use that now. Alright, so we killed it, so that's good. Oh yeah, I have to switch back to follow mode. Hit another trap. So at this point, they've taken some damage and used up some of their spirit. So you can actually rest in the game to regain your health, sanity, and spirit. So you do that by hitting that button, and then you can enter an amount of time. And you'll see here that it says that all equipped lights will be used. So before you rest, you might want to unequip your lights, or one of your lights anyway, or at least all but one of your lights. However, there's a caveat to that. The more lights you have equipped while you're resting, the less likely you are to encounter wandering monsters. So you use up more light, but you may get through the rest successfully. Even if you don't complete your rest, though, it still gives you back some of your stats. So if I unequip that, go back here to rest, and you can enter in any amount of time up to the maximum amount of time that you have left on the light source that has the greatest amount of light left. So let's just say 50 for now. All right, the party finished resting, so we were lucky we didn't get any wandering monsters. And you'll see that they've recovered some of their health and some of their spirit. Then there's also a couple of things. There's your journal, which shows you your active and completed missions. Eventually it'll show other things too, like a world map, to be able to move to other locations in the world. There's also a help button. So when you activate that, you click on any of these blue spots, it'll give you pop-up help for what that thing is. You can also zoom in and out, which can be useful, especially like if you want to zoom out and be able to view more of the map. You can do that. If you move over to another spot of the map and you lost track of your characters somehow, you can hit this and it'll recenter on your active character. And then finally there are the game options. So you can turn off the sound effects and music. You can also change the volume of them. You can change the brightness of the map. You can save your game. The game will automatically save every time you change to a new location or a new level or floor in the dungeon. But you can also save anytime you want. You can also load your last save. There is only one save, so make sure if you want to, you make sure that you save only when you really want to. If you make some kind of mistake and you want to go back, instead of saving, you might want to load your last save game. Then you can also restart. This will completely wipe your save data, so be careful about doing this. And then it'll restart to the very beginning where you'll create a new main character. These settings all get saved, so the next time you log into the game, it'll keep those settings that you set last time. And I think that pretty much covers most of the features of the game. Obviously there are going to be things that I haven't talked about that you can find through simple exploration, but hope you enjoy the game.